It's another Dave Day here on SSPTV News with the sports editor at the Standard Speaker, Dave Seaman, who is most recently covering the Hazleton Area High School softball team, also covered Marion baseball last week. Two of our local teams still competing as the spring sports season continues to roll on. Dave, let's start with Marion baseball. They get a 2-1 win over South Williamsport. That moves them to the PIAA 2A quarterfinals on Thursday. They'll play Bellwood Antis out of District 3. Jared Paisley in this game went 2 for 2 at the plate. He pitched 6 2/3 innings, Dave, so phenomenal effort from him. And Anthony Colavecchio had his first hit since he was injured in April, and it was a big one, gave Marion a 2-0 lead.
Well, you look at the Marion baseball team, they lost 8 starters from last year, a team that was like kind of around 500 beginning of the year. They caught a little bit of fire, won a couple games close. Like I said, in the district tournament, you know, a game against Panther Valley, really, you know, they looked dead in the water and didn't have a chance that they were going to win that game. They came back to win that game. Next game against Minersville. Minersville had runners, a lot of base runners throughout the game, but they kept getting out of innings, and then they deliver a big hit at the end. The freshman delivers a big hit for them, Mason, a big hit. And they go into the state playoffs, and they get another outstanding pitching performance by Jared Paisley, and they're headed to the state quarterfinals. And again, that's where they were last year. I know they'd like to go a little bit further. I know Jared in particular is, you know, he's graduated, and Danny Keir, those kids have, the seniors on the team have graduated, but they're anxious to keep that Marion uniform on for as long as they can.
The Lady Cougars, they beat Coatesville 7-1 in the first round of the 6A softball playoffs, so they'll move to the quarterfinals against Council Rock North. Dave, when my teams make the playoffs in baseball, all I think about is get outs, just get outs, you know, and don't give any free bases. Lady Cougars, a great job of that. Erica Book, 0 walks in the victory in the first round. You were there. What stuck out with Hazleton Area's performance?
That's exactly what stuck out, is Erica Book just doing what she does best, and she's done it all year, is just make outstanding pitches, let her defense play, and Lady Cougars, I believe, only had 1 error against Coatesville on Monday. So they were up to the task, and they're hitting. That's one of the things, too, about this team, is that they hit up and down the lineup. It doesn't matter if you're the top of the order or the bottom of the order. These players can hit the ball. They put the ball in play, maybe even a little bit better than last year's team did, which was very good at it. So they're headed in the right direction. They're in the same spot they were last year. I know that's all they talk about, is getting further than they did last year. Last year was a trip to the state semifinals. Can they get further this year? Remains to be seen.
Tiana Treon, Dave, I know you've talked a lot about her earlier in the year. Have you seen her come along, or has she been pretty steady? She's a 5.22 average, you pointed out in your article, so she's been good for a while, but have you seen her kind of learn more and more in her first varsity year?
She's been a little bit more patient. Coach Heather Nat says her biggest asset is her aggressiveness at the plate. She attacks the ball, and what I really like about Tiana in the game against Coatesville is she went 3 for 3, and 3 hits went to 3 different fields. First one was a double down the left field line, and she went up the middle, or she went to right field, and she's spraying the ball all over the place too. And she has power. She has a couple home runs this year too. She's a freshman. The team moved her up to clean up in the order, so that's a sign that she's seeing the ball. She's getting good pitches to hit, and once she gets those good pitches to hit, she knows what to do with pitches.
And Dave, this weekend, it's Axe Alta presents the Pocono 400 at the Pocono Raceway. And Dino Alberto, who you'll see articles by him in the Standard Speaker and also here on SSPTV, comes to talk about racing. He talked recently about stage racing in NASCAR and what that means for Pocono this weekend.
At a track like Pocono, it brings on a whole different perspective. And as a matter of fact, it's not just that, but the Xfinity cars will be there running on Saturday for a 250-mile event, stage racing in that as well. So I think it's going to be exciting to the point that it adds that whole new element. Because sometimes at Pocono, it tends to get a little drawn out. You don't see a lot of that, go for it excitement, not until near the end. So this is something that NASCAR has experimented with. It's starting to work. I had to warm up to it, I'll be honest with you, but I think it's going to be a real neat deal.
So Dave, stage racing might make Pocono a little bit more interesting. You'll have coverage in the Standard Speaker, I guess, of Pocono Raceway.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Between Dino Alberto's outstanding coverage, and then we call him the voice at the Standard Speaker, because he doubles as a PA announcer at Pocono Raceway. He probably knows more about racing than most people, in the Hazleton area. There's no doubt about it. We consider him an expert in the sport, and he's always willing to contribute. We'll also have some contributions from our sister paper in Scranton. Scott Walsh of the Times Tribune does an outstanding job covering the Pocono race, and they'll have a whole team of writers at Pocono Raceway this weekend. So it looks for a busy week, and you just hope the weather is good and people can get out and enjoy what really is one of the biggest spectacles in northeastern Pennsylvania.
Enjoy Weatherly Hill Climb this weekend as well. Make sure you're keeping track of all your local sports in the Standard Speaker and here on SSP TV News.